Good morning, everybody. It's time for LMS Cricket. Once again, we're in the central part of South Africa where we are watching, or we are sitting in the University of Free State sports grounds. Now, the field we are going to be streaming from is, they call it the Field 4 at the varsity. The first game that will start is between CPI Masters and the Smoking Bulldogs. Game is supposed to start at 9:15, so they are running a few seconds late, but they have done the toss already, and the Smoking Bulldogs will be batting first. Let's look at the teams. The teams that will be batting, in the CPI Masters team, we have Arthur Creer, Kalle Potgieter, Kurtley van Wyk, Daryl Knudsen, Gideon Pieter van Zyl, Jaco Venter, Jacques Jacobs, and Marco van Jaarsveld. And if we look at the Smoking Bulldogs team, we've got Adam Jacobus Boshoff, Benny Pretorius, Heino Heinekom, Emil Huget, J.G. Fourie, Louis Fourie, Michael Voges, and Ronnie Steffens. I apologize if I pronounce any of those names incorrectly, but we can look at some of the people to look out for today. It will be on the side of CPI Masters, where we will look at Arthur Creer, who's played 366 matches. And on the CPI Masters team, between all of them, they've got 687 matches between all of them. Now compare that to the Smoking Bulldogs, who's got 352 matches under their belt. So there is a major difference in experience between the two, but that is not something to be taken lightly. It's only going to depend on what decisions will be made later on during the game, especially when things get tight. But for now, if we look at the conditions now, we've got a strong wind coming from the north-northeast side. It might have some influence on the way, on the reason how Arthur decided to field first. So they are probably looking for a softer pitch. Now we look at, it's a first game of the day, so the pitch is stiffly rolled. It's not quite new, but it is at its best condition at the moment. It hasn't got any action on it yet. So if we look at the pitch, and so Arthur, they've got a plan for their bowlers, and yeah, so they've got a strong bowling team. Maybe they're not that convinced that their batters will be the best, but they will be able to limit their bowling on they've got some pace in their bowling, which will slow down as the day progresses. So, but Arthur will probably have all his own decisions, which influence the reason why he chose to field first, which doesn't matter. We'll see how it unfolds during the game. Those are all only predictions of how things usually go. Now, if we look at the Smoking Bulldogs, somebody to watch out there for is Benny Pretorius. He's not the most experienced player in the team. The most experienced player in the team is Heino Heinekom, who's got 79 matches under his belt, but Benny Pretorius got 68, but he's got a batting average of 48.73. So when things get difficult, he's the one that you need to come in. He's also one of the only people that's got 102 runs in a single match, which means he played his 50 and went out and came back again and scored another 50. And we see umpire Ian Leroux approaching us. Hello. Yes. Ek gehoor hierso so op die sideline Bulldogs bat eers.
Ja.
Yes.
Ons gaan van hierdie kant af,
Begin. Okay. So, we just got confirmation that umpire Ian Leroux said that we'll be starting the match from bowling from the Tempe end. Of course, the other side, we'll see on the far side of the field, we can see the board and there's a field just behind it. That is the Shimla rugby field. So we're referring to that as the Shimla end. And we are ready to start the game. Players approaching the field now. You will see them approaching the stumps now. We'll see if the temperature will play a major role in today's match. It's supposed to be quite warmish. It's 23 degrees Celsius now. It's supposed to rise up to 33 degrees Celsius. And we see the CPI masters, they're huddling in a circle, probably saying a prayer, hoping for everything to go well. And then we can move in a little bit closer to the pitch. We've got a little bit of music in the background, which will improve our live stream. You might not be able to hear exactly what song is playing, but it will be some kind of background noise. Oh yeah, and as we said, the wind is blowing quite strongly today, and we're doing our best to drown it out a little. We've got the mic which is supposed to drown out the wind, but at certain stages the wind might turn on us and something we won't be able to control since we aren't sitting in a media box. But either way, you're ready. Hello, Kali. Okay, so let's go over the team again. The defending team now will be the CPI Masters. They on the outfield will be, and we'll be seeing Arthur Creer at the stumps once again as wicketkeeper. Then we've got Kali Potgieter, Kurtley van Wyk, Daryl Knudsen, Gideon Pieter van Sail, Jaco Venter, Jock Jacobs, and Marco van Jaarsveld. They're all on the field right now. They're still waiting for the Bulldogs to come on. He will be batting. And we notice that we haven't got the overlay yet. That will probably come up soon. Otherwise, we'll just restart the stream and see if that fixes everything. But we've already got on your, if you can see, look at your top right hand corner, we've got the rotating coin, the LMS coin. So we presume that everything is supposed to be working fine. I think we can only presume that the umpire is just wanting to confirm what batsmen are at the pitch before he already started the game. And according to the rules, that for every 3 minutes that the batting team is late, they will be losing a inning, a over. That will impact them negatively. But then we also know that these guys only just want to play the game. And we see Arthur putting up his field. From experience, we've seen in previous matches, it takes a while for the overlay to come onto the screen. Then you will also be able to see who is approaching the stump right now. And there we go. We've got the Smoking Bulldogs. We're opening with Heine Heinekom and Adam Jacobs, Jacobus Boshoff. We'll probably be switching from pronunciation between the English and the Afrikaans pronunciation of certain words, like Jacobus will be Jacobus, and Hanekom. I'm not even going to try and destroy the the English version of that because that's only Afrikaans. Hanekom, and it's not Adam, it's Adam. Adam Jacobus Boshoff. Typical Afrikaans. And we see Daryl Knudsen bowling his first ball, and Smoking Bulldogs is off the mark. It's Heino Hanekom, and who's got the first run. It's off the mark, and Daryl Knudsen once again. And it's a miss. Arthur couldn't quite get hold of that ball, so it meant another run, but this time it goes to Adam Jacobus Boshoff. Daryl Knudsen approaching. And he misses, the ball goes through to Arthur, and he returns the ball to bowler, and umpire Ian Knudsen says it's a wide. Daryl Knudsen approaching. And he bowls. Heino Hanekom losing his bails. And that was for 2 runs. Ball kept low. It was not too fast a delivery, although we can hear that some of the team players said the ball is quite fast. It might be a bit less misleading at the moment because the bowler's got the wind in his back, and that could have an effect on how the ball is being perceived or how the ball moves. But either way, it stayed low, and the team Smoking Bulldogs has their first wicket in the bag. Next week coming in is Enil Hugo or Huget. We can actually presume that it's probably Hugo, like a kind of a French pronunciation. Now Enil Hugo is off the mark. He's one of the new players in the team. We've got players coming from all around the Bloemfontein joining the LMS teams right now, and that is why the sport is growing quite fast now at the moment. Daryl Knudsen is probably his last over or last ball, and Smoking Bulldogs are on 5 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. A projected score of 120. Still early stages in the match, and that was Daryl Knudsen's over. Adam Jacobus Boshoff at the stumps, and it's Gideon Pieterse van Sail bowling. He's got the wind in his back. How much will that it's him approaching the stumps to Inel Huget. Oh, and LBW is called. It's not given. And Adam Jacobus Boshoff has got 1 run with Inel Huget with 4. Two batsmen have a discussion, probably discussing some strategy how to continue with this match. Gideon approaching. And the ball is knocked to deep cover, but it's only 1 run. Smoking Bulldogs standing on 7 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. The score went up. It's 8 for the loss of 1 wicket, and it is in the second over. And the ball into backboard square leg. Only a single run. 9 runs for the loss of 1 wicket, with the target score coming down to 113, or the projected score. If CPI Masters keep it low like this, they'll have an easy target for the second innings. And if you look at the run rate from the last 10 balls, we've got a 1-1, then a wicket was dropped. It was a ball, 2 runs, 1-1, 1-1, and then a 2. Why LBW was scored? No, they were, not even the player seems to be convinced that that was the LBW, but well bowled. And we see JP Hunt approaching the bowler's end, coming to bowl from the Tempe end, and that was Daryl Knussen's over. You can see that the overlay is a little bit slow. Scoreboard will probably update now in the next few deliveries. A ball was just knocked over to deep point. Only a single run. Threw over to Kali, he catches the ball, returns it to the bowler. All of a sudden we can see that the projected score jumped to 133 runs. That will probably stabilize a little more after the 4th or the 5th over. We're expecting a 33 degrees Celsius maximum heat for today. Only 23 now, so it's still quite cool. Hoping that the match will heat up. Darkness is approaching. The ball is just knocked over to mid wicket. Fielded by Kali. And that was the over for Daryl Knussen. Let's see how much, whether the app will update who's coming now. It's Gideon Pieter van Zyl bowling now. Quite a tall man, so he can get a lot of speed into, especially with the wind in his back. And it was nicked, but it races to the boundary. Will it be stopped before the... No. Umpire Ian says that is a 4 runs. And we Smoking Bulldogs standing on 23 runs for the loss of 1 wicket in the third over, and the projected score jumped to 144 runs. Gideon. And the ball is knocked straight. As fielded. Ball was stopped at mid on. Gideon bowling. Seems like the Bulldogs are quite happy with the singles right now. Quite obviously, with Arthur having his fields placed on the boundaries to stop the big numbers coming rolling in. Gideon. Oh, and that was nicked. Was misfield at deep point. But not too much of a problem. Gideon bowling, approaching. Uh, just couldn't connect with the ball. Seems like the stumps were knocked off, and Arthur Cray is just putting up the bails once again. And that was Gideon's over. That'll knocked it over to deep backward point. Well bowled by Darryl Knudsen. Adam Jacobus also just not able to hit that. But we still have Benny Pretorius have come in, by probably sparing him for a little bit later on. Benny Pretorius and another. And Louis Fourie, who's got played 88 matches, but the big hitters are Benny Pretorius, who still has to come in, and Louis Fourie, who can make a change in this game. Bulldogs holding on. Darryl approaching and went straight through Adam. We've got a funny sound here coming from the whiteboard every time a fielder claps. Encourages his team players. Wondering how that phenomenon is taking just shape. I apologize for the wind. Every time the wind turns, it plays havoc with our equipment. Gideon approaching. Ball was hit hard. It's not going to reach the boundary, but it will give the batsman enough time to run 2 runs. Smoking Bulldogs now on 31 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. Adam at the stumps. Ball missed. And the projected score has come down again to 115. Not exactly sure if that is going to happen. We probably have to wait a few more overs to see whether that is going. Oh, and then he does that. Ball racing to the boundary for a 4. Facing the CPI Masters batting late, coming in the second innings. Smoking Bulldogs has to, but really has to score a lot more boundaries. We'd love to give you a different angle for this match, but then the wind will be even be more problematic on our sound equipment. Because we realized for a moment that one batsman stood behind the other one and we couldn't see what's happening. Gideon asking questions, but Ian says nope. Just a single run from that delivery. And some other players for the next match being played arriving now, making sure that they are on time. We heard another guy that came back now. He said now his wife left him, having troubles at home. And his friend asked him, now what was the problem over there? Why did your wife leave you? Probably not his. Nothing to do with him, but they continued. So we're going to just explain there what happened. They said his wife said he was too obsessed with cricket. And his teammates, knowing him well, said, knowing that that could quite probably the reason why his wife left him, because he was obsessed with cricket. And he said, no, he was bowled for a 6. Not bowled for a 6, he was knocked for a 6. Yeah. People's personalities, their lives, integrating with. Oh, and that's a big hit. Giving the ball a bit of air, but not enough to race to the boundary. But it's on the far side and keeping him safe to run 2 more runs. And that was Emil Huget. Or Huget. Or Emil Huget. We'll find out from the players. Oh, and that's another big hit. And that is definitely going to be a 4. Over the boundary. Emil, the youngster, the newbie in the team. He's got no stats yet because it's his first match for the Smoking Bulldogs, or his first match in LMS cricket. Jock Jacobs now bowling, and Enil just knocks it to the back. Is it going to be another boundary? And the umpire calls it a 4. What an excellent way to start your career in LMS cricket. His stats going to look so good. That's a name we have to watch. Neil Huget, obviously coming from a background of club cricket or varsity cricket. These guys, none of them are really amateurs to the sport, or they are playing amateur cricket, but they're not new to the sport. Many of them, especially the youngsters, come from a long line of school cricket, where the coaches in schools honed their skills into what they are today. Now we see Kali coming in. We've seen him a few matches back. What a difference that guy can make. Not to misjudge Kali, most of the team members say that now he can bench press the big numbers in the team. And the wind is picking up. Kali being a spin bowler, but he's knocked back for a boundary. Will it be? No, and it is stopped. That was not a boundary, it was raised to be, but it's fielded. Kali punished there a bit for that delivery of his. It's not happening again. It's just a single, and we've got the Smoking Bulldogs on 53 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. Projected score 149. Will they reach it? Well, the strategy changed in the last few deliveries, so must probably be. And another ball racing to the boundary, but it's not going to be a 4. Ball is being turned, and it's Adam Bosov at the stumps. Correction, that is Neil Huget at the stumps. For the wind vibrating our equipment. We'll probably change direction and fall behind the board that's behind us. But we've got the Smoking Bulldogs on 58 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. And that was Kali Potgieter's over. Let's see who's coming to the bowling end. Bowling from the Tempe end. Last Saturday we saw that it seems like the distance between the wicket and the boundary is a little bit short on the other side, so we can, when they change after 10 overs, we could probably see a few sixes coming from Smoking Bulldogs. That was definitely the case from CPI Masters in the previous match. And that is another big hit. That is a 4. That ball raced to the boundary. Kelcorn is seeing a lot of action today. Jaco Venter bowling. Oh, and he was not back over his head. It's not enough to reach the boundary. Jaco Venter bowling, and that ball is swept. Misfielded, but enough to stop the boundary. Ball is brought back to Jaco Venter. Now Smoking Bulldogs on 65 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. Projected score 151. Oh, and that's on his legs. Okay, Ian Venter says nope. That is not the LBW. And the match continues. And that's a big ball is. Okay, Smoking Bulldogs not opting to go for a third run. In the midfield. And we see that batsmen are discussing some strategy. And Kali Potgieter once again coming to the bowling end. Bowling from, that will be the last over from the Tempe end. Then I'll be switching to the Shimla end. Emil at the stumps. And another call for, and that is an LBW. Emil, so, okay. I was corrected here, that is a left stump that was knocked, he's bowled. Emil Hugo. Haggett. Dis die Haggett. Ek wonder hoe spel mens hom uit. Of spreek mens hom uit? For 31.
Jy 31. Jy kon trek evenveel balle.
20.
20. Okay. Dis 'n nice strike rate.
Emil Haggett out 31 runs from 20 balls. And the score now on 66 runs from losing 2 wickets. And Benny Pretorius now at the stumps. Now Benny Pretorius, he's played 68 matches with a average strike rate of of 48.73 and a high score of 102. So he'll probably add a lot of more runs to hit a few more boundaries. Hallo Eniel. Hoe is je inning?
Ja, lekker. Hy wou net hier op die laaste en toe gooi so 'n lolly ding, 'n lolly ja. Hoe is dit toe hy hom stoot?
Hoe is
Jy
dit?
inside iets gekry?
Hoe is die pitch?
Ja, is lekker.
Lekker. Eniel, jy het spreek met jou van net? Haggett. Ek kon onthou.
Hoeveel het ek toe gekry op die einde?
31.
31. Ja.
Neil confirming that pronounces his surname as Haggett, and he scored 31 runs from 20 balls, and they're changing now. No, not changing. Let's see what's happening. But he said he confirmed that the pitch was nice to bat on. He just got the inside edge from a ball that came with a lob. Yes, they've changed. It's supposed to be happening after 10 hours. There you go, there was an overlay now updated. And we see that the Smoking Bulldogs standing on 67 runs after losing 3 wickets. Projected score of 134. But with Benny Pretorius now coming to the stumps, that is most probably going to be a bit higher than 134. He's got the ability, as soon as he's got his eye in, he can knock the ball around for sixes like he used to. Dr. Kerr is bowling and Benny just knocking it to the fly slip area, or the third man, but his ball is not reaching the fly slip area. And Jacob is bowling. Ball is knocked back right straight to him. It's not going to be a run coming from that delivery. And we looked a little bit at how pitches are being rolled this week. So look at this delivery, and the ball went straight through Ronnie Stephens. That is not a good sign for Ronnie. And he just seems to, and Arthur just making sure to tell him, listen, step out of your crease, we'll knock your balls off quite easily. Probably just a little bit of psychology to Ronnie's end, where he'll probably will be getting frustrated, not able to hit the ball. Gully bowling, and it is knocked to mid wicket, square leg, apology. Or backward square leg in that area. Just a single run. Ball ticking over to, the score ticking over to Smoking Bulldogs on 70 runs from losing 3 wickets. Just another single run. And seems like Ronnie is just struggling with his clothing there. Needs a few adjustments. Seems like it's ready. And that was a big six from Ronnie Stephens. Now being more comfortable with his clothing. That's knocked out of the park. Well done, Ronnie. Ronnie now doing some damage to the projected score for Smoking Bulldogs. He's a big guy. Can put a lot of weight behind that swing and knock that ball for sixes and keep them coming. Now, Kali being under the pressure, the bowler. It's an obvious change in pace from batting from the Smoking Bulldogs. We can now expect a few more sixes coming in, hopefully. Smoking Bulldogs on 77 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. Ronnie Stephens at the stumps. Projected score 122. And Ronnie going for that 6 again and just couldn't connect. Benny Pretoria standing on 4 runs from 5 balls. Both these players now have to get some scores on the board. We just saw that 1-4 from Ronnie Stephens, so basically had another 1 run from 7 deliveries. They'll need to score a lot more runs or they need to score runs a lot faster. Pick up that run rate if they have to think they've got a chance of giving the challengers or the CPI masters some kind of a challenge. And the ball was knocked to the boundary, but well fielded. CPI masters are they've got great fielders. And the ball's quicker delivery, but still we can see only the singles and the doubles rolling in. Oh, and that's a full toss, punished back to the boundary, but it's not going to be a 4. Another ball, and that went straight through the batsman. Benny not making contact with it, and it is good news for the CPI masters. It is funny if we go and look at the history of the cricket ball. We presume it's hard, we felt it is hard, but if we look at how the ball is made, it is not actually supposed to be hard. It's like me, many people think that the core of or the inside of the red part of a cricket ball is cork. The core is red, the core is from cork, but it's only a small, it's like the size of a golf ball that is cork. Then it's got like 5 layers of twine or string, whatever you'd like to call it, and then it's got like a plastic cup before the leather comes over, and it depends on the ball maker. Another delivery from Kali, and the ball is knocked. It's not going to be a 4. Smoking Bulldogs quite happy just scoring 1s and 2s. And no, it's not a 4. Just knocked to the boundary once again. Singles and doubles. Rolling in. Oh, and that's a better ball. And that is a 4. And it is Ronnie hitting another 4. As we expected, we can see that more runs coming when the bowlers bowl from the Shimla Park end. Another big swing is going to be a 4. It's racing to the boundary, but no, it's stopped in time. And return to Arthur, who will be passing it on to the next bowler. And that was over for Kali Pretorius. Sorry, Kali Potgieter. Now the Smoking Bulldogs standing on 86 runs from after 14 deliveries, losing 3 wickets, and Ronnie Steffens at the stumps. Jaco Venter bowling. And the projected score stabilized at 123 runs. And the bowler is... Oh, I just missed the ball. It's racing to the boundary. It's not going to make it. Ball is being returned to Jaco Venter. Ball is returned to Jaco Venter. Smoking Bulldogs have to pick up the pace now if they want to have a faintest chance of putting up a challenge for the CPI Masters. 122 already quite an easy score for them to reach. Oh, and the ball went straight through Benny Potgieter, but he's not bowled. And is the pressure getting to the Smoking Bulldogs now? Ball is knocked back to the boundary. Stopped just in time and returned to Jaco Venter. Ronnie Steffens at the stumps. Big guy, can hit big shots, but that ball went straight through him. Just a short joke while we wait for the field to get on. My wife asked if I had seen the dog bowl. I replied that I didn't know he played cricket. And the wind keeps changing direction, playing havoc on our equipment. Hopefully it will change angle and ball. And that ball was knocked to the boundary. Is it going to be stopped? No, that will be a 4 from Benny Potgieter. Kali has to chase that ball onto the other field. So hockey field next to this one, nearly in it. return the ball, and we can see there's got a nice strong arm for a small guy like him. Quickly bowling, and the same delivery repeats itself. Another 4. Kali has to return exactly to the point where he picked up the ball before this one. Smoking Bulldogs now on 97 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. Curtly van Wyk bowling. Oh, and was it bowled? Hey, it seems like umpire Ian is not convinced. Arthur has to return the balls to the stumps. Let's see what's happening. Curtly bowling. And ball is knocked to the boundary. It's going to be a 4. Yes, the match is on now. More boundaries coming through now. That ball was knocked to the deep extra cover. Will we see more boundaries coming from that end? Deep extra cover and cow corner. We'll be seeing more runs coming from there now. From now on, they've reached the 15th over. Let's see. Ball is Rington, and we can see that Benny Pretoria is now on 21 runs from 18 balls. Ronnie Stephens 15 runs from 15 balls, and that strike rate has to increase now considerably. Smoking Bulldogs now on 102 runs from losing 3 wickets after 16 overs. Jaco Venter bowling. Ball was knocked to deep mid wicket. Jaco Venter bowling. Oh, and that was just knocked back a little, just enough to run another 1 run. Just a single coming from this delivery. Jaco Venter bowling, approaching the stumps. And the ball is knocked. It's racing to the boundary. That is a big 4. And Kali will be running for a while longer. No, it's not Kali, it's one of the other players. He's running about 40 meters behind the boundary to go and pick up the ball. Beautiful shot by Smoking Bulldogs. And that was Benny Pretorius making his mark on this game. just slowing things down, wondering whether they should run it or not. No, they Benny Pretorius just deciding to come back to his stumps, not going to risk it getting run out. Only 3 more runs remaining from this over, from this innings. The wind's wreaking havoc on our equipment. Chalk bowling. No, it's not that. Not even Arthur seems convinced that that was a LBW. Jacques Jacobus coming in for another delivery. Approaching. Oh, and that's a big hit. Is it going to be a 4? Kali stopped it in time. Gave it to his team player. Ball turned. Nice bit of fielding there.
Making a few changes, trying to see if we can improve the sound a little. Unfortunately, this microphone is a lot more sensitive than the other one, but we moved to an area where we are a little bit more out of the wind, and I will pick up a lot more sound around.
Dis is so 3 of 2.
163. Score now standing on 116 for the loss of 3 wickets. And Jacob Venter bowling, and that's a big hit. It's racing to the boundary. No, and Kali has to pick it up again. That was Benny Pretorius hitting that again to the boundary. Jacob Venter bowling now. It's the second to last delivery of the innings. And that ball is in there. It's good. Well done. That's beautifully catched. And that's Benny Pretorius going out for 34 runs from 25 balls. That is a big play to lose this stage in the game. Not that there's much left, so he's probably just going out and giving the rest of people a bit of chance to play, getting their shots in this bit of the game, which is left for the innings. And that's another ball high into the air. It's not going to be caught, but enough for Jeugje Fourie to get his name on the board. Jacob in the bowling, but just blocked. Jacob in approaching, and that ball is high up in the air. And it was, he just missed, he couldn't go. And Jacob Finkel, the batsman, can be so lucky. Counting his stars. That was Ronnie Stephens. And it's now the last over. Daryl Knudsen bowling, and Arthur missed the ball, is running right into the boundary, but it's not going to be a four. Now standing with a smoking Bulldogs on 122 runs after losing 5 wickets, and it's in the last over. What will they be able to do in the last over? The projected score is 127. Will it be more than 127? Will it be less? That is what we have to wait and see. Batsmen obviously now eager to get a few sixes and fours now, so it depends on how they will be able to connect with the ball, or will the ball connect with the wickets. Daryl Knudsen bowling. By Ian, just back for a while, just until everybody's ready. And approaching, and it's a big hit, it's up in the air, it's not going to be caught. A returns ball to the bowler, and it's just a single run from this delivery. Now all the field is coming closer, stopping the ones and double runs. This will force the batsmen to go for the boundaries. Well, they need them if they want to inflate the score, but they don't have much time to do it. This is about the innings. The first innings is nearly concluded. And that was the first innings done. The target score is 124 runs. the CPI Masters will probably not have any difficulty to reach it, but it doesn't mean it's going to be not going to be some exciting cricket coming. They will probably be looking at how fast they can reach at 124 runs in their innings. And the Smoking Bulldogs seems to be quite happy coming off the field. They've done their job. Seems like the guys enjoyed themselves. Now they're going to get ready now to get fielding, but they will probably discuss some strategy during the 5-minute break before they continue. And CPI Masters, they will be quite excited to start playing, and maybe fight this time that was lost where the game was, or the match started a little bit late, so they will be able to, if they finish the game earlier, that will keep the rest of the matches on track once again. Seems like the Smoking Bulldogs are quite happy with their performance right now. They said they've batted quite well. They're happy with it. So that is what matters. They enjoy themselves, yes.
Okay, we are going to test another microphone for the second innings. Um, while we will be testing another microphone for the second innings, it will be actually good for us to test different kinds of equipment for different kind of situations so that we know what's going to work better for the future. We've seen that we've got a shot, now we're using a shotgun mic, which is supposed to stop all the wind, but we can still hear the wind that somehow it's not one of the best microphones. Because those microphones are about upwards of 24,000 rand, and that is not something which is in our budget. But we will be getting a generator later on, which will enable us to incorporate some of our current equipment into the live stream, better that. And yeah, so we've tested that, and then we've got a what they call a condenser mic, which we use now where we try to stand out of the wind. And like we said, the problem with those is that they are so sensitive, they pick up everything around us. And we've got the team just standing behind us, and they are talking quite loudly. Now, we don't want to interfere with their um, mojo, as you would call it. Um, allow them to do what they like to do, and everything. So, yeah, let them carry on, do their thing. So, our mission is to work around all these problems and get a solution that works for the future. So when we teach other people to come and do what we are doing now, they will be able to learn from us. We make the mistakes so they don't have to. And if they need to buy special equipment, then they know which ones to buy for a budget price, of course. And we can see that CPI masters are approaching the pitch. They are getting ready for their innings. Ian, umpire Ian is waiting for Bulldogs to come to the field. He wants to get them ready to play. He's eager for them to come onto the field. They're just finishing a smoke. They all call the smoking Bulldogs. And what we learned earlier, they've got the English that they're always talking about, the cricket ball. You can imagine if you go and sit and hear English gentlemen sitting next to the fire, sipping a brandy or a cognac or something, they will be referring to cricket as leather on willow. It's a characteristic sound that they like, and it's a gentleman thing. And cricket is a gentleman's sport. Let them go into that genre of thinking. Yes, it is a gentleman's sport, but the action is just as real as any other sport. People are just as passionate. You don't have to be British to play cricket. Even the best players now are sitting in South Africa and Australia and New Zealand, and obviously in your Indian areas like Pakistan and India, of course, they've got some of the best players of all time. Along with the British, but nobody's scared of the people who announce cricket as leather against willow. Willow, of course, is traditional wood that's being used to make cricket bats. Now they also use sapwood. And in the cricket ball, the British also are very proud of the traditional way a cricket ball is being made, where a piece of leather used to be brown at first, then it became red and white, and now sometimes pink. This ball is orange, but either way, the ball has got a golf-size piece of cork in the middle with 5 layers of string around it. Then you get the plastic cup kind of thing and leather. And then the ball is shaped into a round ball, and then they just coat it so that it lasts a bit longer. Cricket's all about shaping the pitch, shaping the ball, but obviously in T20 cricket there isn't enough innings to shape the ball that much, and the ball is now it looks like a rubbery, plasticky kind of a ball, and it allows the pitches to hold longer, last longer as well. And it's Daryl Knudsen bowling. No, it is now the overlay is a little bit slow because we are looking at the last innings of the Smoking in Bulldogs, while the CPI Masters are now at the crease or at the pitch. Okay, it seems like we've got the angle now which we can work with for today. A little bit out of the wind now, or the most of it, the majority of the wind will past us on our right. Our notes will be on the side where we'll intermittently just take off and look at them quickly. Our preparation. And we see that CPI Masters are off the mark with Marco van Jaarsveld and Jaco Venter. They require 121 runs from 98 balls. They will have no problem doing that. And we see that they start off with a 4. A boundary in the third delivery of the first over. Marco van Jaarsveld, a very experienced player, young, talented. I'm going to see a lot more of him in this match. Get down the notes quickly, and we can tell you a bit more. Another ball racing to the boundary. It is not going to be a 4. You can see that CPI Masters are eager to put the runs on the scoreboard. Marco van Jaarsveld already got 11 runs from 4 balls. Jaco Venter has got a single from his ball that he faced. And Heino Hanekom, who finished his first over. Now Benny Pretoria is coming up for his first over. It's his second over of the day, and the CPI Masters are already standing on 12 runs. They require 113 balls from 95. Apology. They require 113 runs from 95 balls. That will not be a problem for Arthur's team. Jaco Venter, one facing the ball now. He's got 19 matches under his belt. He already had 6 50s and got a maximum of 55 runs. And they are testing the fielding skills of these Smoking Bulldogs players. Benny Pretoria is bowling. Ball was turned straight to him. You can hear now that his teammates are calling him BP or BP. That of course is for Benny Pretoria. And another ball is being hit to the boundary, being stopped by. We saw him batting beautifully earlier. We can only imagine his name is Benny Pretorius. Although in the back of his shirt says Tank. I'd like to hear from him later where that nickname came from. And the more we are trying to hide from the wind, the more it follows us. Let's just move a little bit and see if that makes a difference. For now it does. Okay. Not sure whether the wind is going to die down later on today. Hopefully it will. And the ball is up in the air. Is it going to be caught? And it is got a beautiful catch. And Marco van Jaarsveld is a big ticket to lose. It's a big wicket to lose so early on in the game. Marco van Jaarsveld has got the experience of 48 matches, now 49 under his belt, a batting average of 58.34. He is a best batsman in the team. Losing him now will definitely hurt the CPI Masters, but then they've got a few more batsmen that are pretty well themselves as well. All that they are called the CPI Masters. All the players, they can hold their own. Although the addition of Curtly van Wyk is a new player to the team, we will still have to see how his batting is going to make a difference. But he's coming up now, so we are not going to wait long to see what he can do. He's getting a chance to play early on. Now Arthur will know what his credentials are before he came into this match, who he played for, how much he's played before. It's Heino Hanekom bowling, and he's being punished by Curtis showing his mettle, but it is misfielded. Ooh, the ball bounced into an uncomfortable area of the fielder. Let's just have a look there at them playing. Still sometimes a few jokes. We are back to Heino Hanekom bowling from the Tempe end. So Heino Hanekom here is what they call Tank. It's not even a single run from that delivery. You can see from the Smoking Bulldogs on the back of their shirts, they all have some form of nickname. Now it's tank bowling, and that's a big hit. It's racing to the boundary. It is going to be a 4. Not going to stop that one. And Jaco Venter making his presence heard in this team. Or actually in this innings. Him being the most experienced player now on the at the pitch. Between him and Kirtley is doing his maiden opening game for Smoking Bulldogs, or actually in CPI, no, LMS cricket. Jaco Venter just sending the ball back. To deep extra cover. He'll be going through a range of shots as soon as he gets his eye in. It's just a single run. It's currently at the stumps now. But the Highness Hanekom's over is done. Let's see who will be replacing him. Currently being the youngster on the team, new in LMS cricket. He's got 2 runs from 2 balls. He's doing his job. Arthur can be very happy with him. And Benny Pretoria is bowling. And he's just being nicked to the outfield. Just a single delivery, a single run. But we can also see that the Smoking Bulldogs have placed their fielders on the boundaries. Benny Pretoria is bowling. Oh, and the batsman just couldn't get a hold of that ball. Just found the inside edge. Very lucky not to play it back onto his stumps. Maybe a little bit nervous. Doesn't have to be. They are in a comfortable position. They require 98 runs from 83 balls. They are closing that gap quite quickly. And Jaco Venter just, no, my apology, that's Kirtley van Wyk with the helmet on. Probably not exactly sure what to expect from the Smoking Bulldogs. That's why he's wearing his helmet. Jaco Venter, they all know all the players here on the field, know their abilities, their bowling skills, bowling speed, what they are capable of. So he's fine playing with the helmet. And the ball is going to reach the boundary. No, not far enough. But the Masters are making runs on the pitch. Jaco Venter at the stumps. Benny bowling. Nope. And the umpire calls it a wide. Seems like this position where we stand now works a lot better. Where we escape the wind a little. Or the majority of it. And Benny bowling. It was hit hard, racing to the boundary, but it's not going to be a 4. And it is back to Hanekom bowling. CPI Master standing on 33 runs losing only 1 wicket, and Kurtley van Wyk at the stumps. He's a youngster, new one at the bat, and a new player at LMS cricket, and we can expect a lot from him. He showed in the first few innings, or the first few balls, that he's got what it takes to measure up to the other team players, to the other players in his team. Arthur is building up teams left, right, and centre. With new players coming in, making the sport more exciting, and ultimately these guys will be forming their own teams. And as the season progresses, they will find themselves. They'll get a set of skills into a team, and they will form their own teams. And that ball raced to the boundary. That was a four. Ian calls it. Ball is out of the park. Well done, Jaco Venter. He's taking a leading role there at the pitch, with Kurtley as a youngster, showing how things are supposed to be done. Smoking Bulldogs waiting patiently at the boundaries, waiting for the ball to be hit to their way. And umpire Ian calls that a wide. Oh, and that's a big hit. It's going to race to the boundary, but it will be stopped. Looking at the CPI Masters team, they've got 687 matches under their belt. Obviously, Arthur Creer contributing 366 matches just by his own to the 687. Then Gideon Pieter van Zyl with 139 matches under his belt, and Jock Jacobs with 92. Best batsman in the team will be Jaco Venter, now at the stumps. Not at the stumps, but with Kurtley van Wyk, a youngster. And then we also have Jock Jacobs with a 32.43 average, batting average. And Marco van Jaarsveld, who we lost a while ago, he's got a batting average of 58.34. Like we said, we haven't got any stats from Kurtley yet. He's making his debut here, and he's doing a good job introducing himself and his skills. Jaco Venter at the stumps. Benny approaching. Just blocked to the square leg. And that seems like 2 runs. And we see now that the required run rate is 81 runs from 73 balls. That gap is closing. CPI Masters will be should be reaching the target score before the end of the innings, before the allotted 20 overs, and they should be able to get probably be able to reach that target before 15 overs into the second innings. Benny bowling. Oh, and another stump is going, and that is the stumps of Jaco Venter. That does not look for the Masters team. Always a surprise. Always a surprise. Just when you think the Masters have got it in the bag, then Bulldogs come and do this. Just take another wicket, making those big wickets fall. We see Gideon Pieter van Zyl coming in. Memory serves me correctly, he's a tall guy. Gideon. Yes. He's got 139 matches under his belt. Gideon Pieters van Zyl. Oh, Pieter van Zyl. He's hit 50. His 50 record, or he's hit 10 50s in his LMS career. And the maximum runs that he scored is 64. Let me repeat that. It sounds like I was a bit confused. But Gideon Pieter van Zyl, he played 139 matches for LMS cricket, and he's got his highest score is 64 with 10 50s under his belt. So he's quite capable of putting this through, adding probably another 30 or 40 runs in this match. Being a tall guy, obviously he will be used for fast bowling. He's got the ability to do it, but his job now is to bat. Scoring runs is now required from him, but now Kurtley van Wyk is a youngster at the pitch, but he's now going to take the lead because he's got the experience of what's happening on the pitch now and today, what is supposed to be done, and the ball went right through him. That should rattle his confidence a little. And Ronnie bowling. Ronnie Stephens making it difficult for the CPI Masters to score more runs. Obviously, as they will be retained from getting more runs, that will put pressure on them, and that will be able to rattle another cage of the CPI Masters, putting them under pressure, because right now at the moment they are under no pressure, not at all. Ronnie bowling, and Gideon just knocking him far enough away to score one more run. We also see Heine in a slip position. Wondering where they will be keeping Heine Hanekom, whether he will stay in a slip slash gully position, or will he going, because he's covering a fly slip now. And we see the CPI Masters standing on 52 runs, losing only 2 wickets, required to score 73 runs from 65 balls. Shouldn't be too difficult for them, doing it before the 15th over. Egot. I just found the bottom edge of that bat. a single run from that delivery. Curtly at the stumps. Oh, and that's a big hit. It's coming to long on. Picked up on mid on. Just enough for the singles. That is called a wide by Ian. Neil. Neil also a new youngster to LMS cricket. Oh, and that he was punished for a. Let's see if the umpire Ian says it's a 4. And we see that gap closing between the required run rate or the required runs from the amount of balls left in this match of the required run rate of we don't have the run rate. Required runs of 64 runs from 60 balls. The Masters doing what was expected from them. They'll be closing that gap pretty earlier on. I predict they'll be evening that required balls or required runs compared to required balls within the 10th over. So 2 more overs left where they can equal that required versus what they are scoring. But if not, if they are losing stumps like that, that's unfortunate. Another stump wicket missed by or lost by CPI Masters. That was Michiel Focus. I don't think there's an English pronunciation of Michiel. But then he is being replaced by Jock Jacobs. Now Jock Jacobs, he's got 92 matches under his belt with a maximum of 62. He's already hit 950s in matches. And he's got a batting average of 32.43. So he's one of the big wickets coming in now. More experience and a lot more than Kirtley. He'll be assuming the leadership position now, Jock Jacobs. Has the CPI Masters got this one in the bag? I don't think so. Kirtley just looking at the ball, missing his stumps, going right through him. Ronnie will be capitalizing on that. It's not, the word is not ignorance, it's youthfulness. The test will come in and to see what this youngster will do when he's under pressure. Obviously, it won't be his first time because our youngsters in South Africa, they play cricket they're in schools as well, and also when they play club cricket, that is where many of these cricketers come from. They play club cricket on Saturdays, and then they come on Sundays and enjoy themselves, just relaxing with their friends and just come to have some fun. Just because they haven't played LMS before doesn't at all mean they are green to the sport or new to the sport. Quite a good piece of bowling there from Neil. Neil putting these masters under pressure. They just can't. But we can see there's a kind of a calmness in the Bulldogs field. The runners or the fielders aren't that stressed, and we can hear vocally the frustration coming from a Masters batsman, and that will be Jock Jacobs, who will be frustrated now with himself, having received 4 balls, only having 2 runs. Psychologically, he is supposed to be the leader now, and there it's up in there, beautifully caught, going for a run out. Didn't happen. Was that a double run out? That was a beautiful piece of play from Smoking Bulldogs. Exactly what they needed. Smoking Bulldogs. Tails are up. Well done, Smoking Bulldogs. That was an impressive piece of play. Now the pressure builds for CPI Masters. Now Kari Potgieter, a good batsman on himself, and Daryl Knudsen at the stumps. None of them have their eye in. Well done, Bulldogs. That was impressive. Wow. Kari Potgieter, 21 matches under his belt, a high score of 24. Still has to hit a 50, and he's being joined by Daryl Knudsen, who's got 2 matches under his belt for LMS cricket, a batting average of 23, a bit better than Kali Potgieter. His maximum 15 runs. Is it over for CPI Masters? Maybe a bit too eager, maybe a bit too much confidence in themselves. See what CPI cricket is about. The Smoking Bulldogs come in and destroy your whole plan in a matter of seconds. Never get comfortable. You've got the skill, you've got the players standing there, they've got the stats, but you're not coming with stats to the crease. You are coming with your bat and yourself. It's not your portfolio batting for you, it's you. Only you. You're only good as your worst day. Michiel Vug is bowling, and Daryl Knudsen is off the mark. Wow, this is now turned interesting. This really turned interesting now. the Masters are changing their field now according to what they need. And we can see that they brought their players in a little bit closer, knowing that it's new players at the stumps. They won't be going for those big hits now until they found their rhythm and their eye on the ball. And so they will be going for the singles and the doubles now. Limiting those, putting them under pressure, will rattle their cages, and psychologically they will take a little bit longer to get into the game. And Kale now off the mark. CPI Masters 68 runs of losing 5 wickets, and the game has changed considerably. They don't have the upper hand anymore. Now they're just fighting to stay alive in this game. Just when you think the game is done and dusted. And we see that our predictions were quite off as well, where we thought they will be equaling the amount of runs according to the Bulls are going to get at 10 overs. They've changed positions now, and we see they need 56 runs from 45 balls, and they're bowling from the shimless end, and that was what I think they call it a flyer, the wide ball. Either way, the umpire called it a wide, and there was a bit of misfielding. And the Smoking Bulldog seems to have lost concentration over there. Just give them a chance to regroup. And let's see. Smoking Bulldogs approaching. And Kale just missed that ball. He doesn't take much to rattle him. But they're definitely feeling some pressure over there now. Nice to be a Bulldog now on the field. Kale just seems straight to the fielder, going for 1 run. Now the Bulldogs know that the CPI Masters won't be able to win scoring single runs. And the Smoking Bulldogs tails are up. Well done, guys. Well, this ball is just blocked, and Kale is defending his stumps. Smoking Bulldogs now under the attack. And that ball is going to be called wide. Yeah, umpire Ian calls that a wide. JG Furiek bowling. Darryl Knudsen facing the ball at the stumps. Well, ball is hit back, it's racing to the boundary. It's not going to be a full ball, well fielded, sent back to the bowler. And JG bowling. Looks like JG is bowling. JG's over is done. Now we'll coming in now. No, that is Yechia coming in now. He's going to bowl. Apologies again. Our mistake. That was Yechia bowling. Michiel Focus now bowling. And Michiel has delivered his first ball in his over. Kali Potgieter now at the stumps. And Kali Potgieter just leaves that ball alone. Or under a little bit of pressure. But let's see what they will be able to do in the next 8 overs. Approaching, just blocked away to deep cover. I expect we should see a lot of balls now going through to deep cover, although Khalid just tried to cut it to deep point, missed the ball. Michiel approaching. Khalid just tipped it to long leg. Ball is not going to reach a boundary. A little bit slow on this side of the field. And we see the CPI Master standing on 89 runs, losing 5 wickets. We are now in the 12th over. Darryl Knudsen at the stumps. And Kali and Darryl just having a talk quickly and discussing what they're going to do. Now just giving each other a bit of encouragement. Kali now standing on 19 runs from 10 balls. Darryl Knudsen 5 runs from 7 balls. They'll be feeling a little bit of pressure soon. Now it's the 13th over. And Kali walking over to Arthur to probably ask for some advice. Knowing Arthur, he would probably just tell Kali, listen boy, just do what you do. Go and enjoy yourself. Don't worry too much about it. CPI Masters are now at the second on the standings log with 53 points. Bloem Warriors standing in first place with 56 points. And Smoking Bulldogs in 6th place with 32 points. So CPI Masters will already be in the finals for the cup. So it doesn't matter too much. If they lose the game, it's not going to matter too much, but they still have this thing called pride, which they will be trying to defend as far as they can, but not in spite of having fun on the field. Darryl Knudsen and Yechia Fourie approaching, trying to sweep the ball, failed, went to the wicketkeeper, and the wicketkeeper returns the ball to Yechia Fourie. see the Smoking Bulldogs field is not going out to all the boundaries yet. And the swings and misses by Daryl Knudsen. Obviously feeling a little bit of pressure and just trying to knock the ball for a 4 or a something, but umpire calls for another wide. Arthur's now having a talk with these two batsmen, wondering what he's telling them now, advising them on. Two youngsters, Kali Potgieter and Daryl Knudsen, not new to the sport, but they are new to LMS cricket. Arthur Creer, the most experienced LMS cricket player in Bloemfontein. He's got a lot of good advice for them, but they also know, also loving cricket, he'll probably just tell them, listen boys, just enjoy yourself. That is what it's all about. Give your best. CPI Masters now on 104 runs, losing 5 wickets, and they need 21 runs from 29 balls. Not impossible, it's not going to be easy either. Especially if you look at the psychology of the two teams now. We've got the Smoking Bulldogs whose tails are up. Everything is going well for them now. And we look at the CPI Masters now having two youngsters at the crease, unable to score runs. Not like they are supposed to. They score singles and doubles where they have to score a few boundaries. They're in desperate need of 2 or 3 boundaries, and they're just not coming through. They don't have that line of batsmen in the bag either, where they can have a few guys coming in. Only got 3 more players in the bank, and they weren't able to take a lot of chances now. Obviously that will change a little as I progress for another 1 or 2 overs. Of course, you win the game on runs, not how many people you have in the bank. Arthur is waiting to come in, so as soon as we lose one more, or they lose one more wicket, Arthur will be coming in as a batsman. Standing now on square leg umpire position. Ronnie Stephens bowling approach, went straight through the batsman Daryl Knudsen, and the wicketkeeper returns the ball to the bowler. The match is now going over the amount or allotted time. In 15 minutes the next match is supposed to start, so that match will be starting late. Things just didn't work well for the CPI Masters today. Just goes to show, with all the experience and everything in the field, in the bag, doesn't mean anything is certain. Doesn't mean the whole match is in the bag. you still have to go out and play. Approaching, and ball is just knocked away for, and they CPI Masters can't even run a single from this delivery. Gary Potgieter facing the ball, unable to get another run. CPI Masters still have to put in an effort here to just to stay in contention to win the match. It's not going to be that easy. Now he's standing with Gary Potgieter 24 runs from 17 balls, and Daryl Knissen 21 runs from 17 balls. And they require 15 runs of 20 balls, so it's not that difficult. They have to just to keep at it. 1 run per ball, and they will be able to win this match. It's not going to be comfortable, but like this Smoking Bulldogs, they've got him covered now. Just another single going at it. Bulldogs approaching. No run from this ball, didn't even connect to the ball. Ball just bounces over to the wicketkeeper. And the ball is returned to the bowler, who will be Adam Jacob Jacobus Boshoff. Always easier to pronounce the name in your mother tongue. And I'm approaching. Ball. It's exactly what the CPI Masters wanted. Daryl Knissen just hit a 4. And they're moving up to 116 runs, losing only 5 wickets, which means they are in striking distance of this of the Smoking Bulldogs effort earlier on. We can now assume that Gary Potgieter and Daryl Knissen will be able to take this through, depending on what, if they lose a wicket, it's not going to be too much of a problem for Arthur to hold his own at the pitch. They've got a few balls in the bank. And once again, the match changed in an instant. Turned on a dime, and Masters just added 2 more runs to the tally. Now only needs 7 runs from 15 balls. What a roller coaster of emotions in this game. Everything changing all the time. Also congratulating the Smoking Bulldogs for the effort. We're just finishing up now. Looks like the next match could be on time anyway. If it starts late, might be something like 5 minutes. But everything should be on time. Masters running another 2 runs. Excellent job by these 2 youngsters now at the pitch, showing what they are made of. They are also getting ready for the South African Championships later on this year. Ball knocked to the circle. One more run being added to the CPI Masters side. And we hear music from the side of the field. We see kids playing, next team's arriving, getting ready for the match. And the ball races to the boundary, is not going to reach it. And CPI Masters added 3 more runs to their tally, making them, getting them a projected score. I do not understand why this layover says there's a projected score of 145, because the match is over. CPI Masters won comfortably. There was a bit of touch and go there for a while, but that's what's great about cricket. It changes every few minutes. You cannot relax too much for a while because anything can change us. In an instant, Smoking Bulldogs took 2 wickets from from CPI Masters, putting them under a bit of pressure, and they were put in a difficult position. And you see people, kids having some ecstasy, going to congratulate their parents. Well done, boys. We are closing this transmission now. We're going to get ready for the next one. The next match will be on the same field, and it's going to be Bloemfontein against Toxic Eagles. Bloemfontein currently in the 6th position on the standings, while Toxic Eagles are lying in 3rd position with 49 points. And goodbye. Have a nice Sunday. Please come back and join us for the next match. Yeah, it's always going to be exciting to see these youngsters play. We're going to see what they are able to do, what they are capable of, and